Hello everyone, I am Yukina Suzuki. My research theme is efficient way to memorize English vocabulary. This is the outline. First, introduction. I asked 21 pharmacy students that if they have ever memorized the English vocabulary in the long term. And 100% of respondents answered yes to this question. And I also asked them when was the situation that you memorized the English vocabulary in the long term. These are the top 3 answers. First place was for entrance exam. Second place was for English proficiency test. Third place was for homework. At this point, you may think there are few opportunities to memorize new English vocabulary as a university student. However, as a pharmacy student, we already learned unfamiliar pharmacy terms in English in organic chemistry classes. Also, more than 95% of papers all over the world are written in English. If we could memorize as many pharmacy terms or technical terms as possible, we would be able to read a lot of papers from previous research and make our own research better. Therefore, purpose of my P2 project is to find out the efficient way to memorize English vocabulary. Second, interview. I interviewed 3 female pharmacy students, and I will call them interviewee A, B, and C. Make it easier to answer their way to memorize English vocabulary. For them, I made precondition that if you had to memorize 100 English words in 10 days, how would you plan to memorize those? This is the result of the interview. I'll start with interviewee A. Interviewee A answered that she would carefully memorize 10 words per day. Interviewee B answered that she would look over 100 words every day. Interviewee C answered she would memorize 20 words per day for the first 5 days and review 20 words per day for the last 5 days. Third, questionnaire survey. I conducted a questionnaire survey, and the respondents were 21 pharmacy students. The question in questionnaire survey was the same as the one in interview, but for the questionnaire survey, I made 3 conditions. I made 3 choices. Type A, which is memorizing 10 words per day. Type B, looking over 100 words every day. Type C, memorizing 20 words per day for the first 5 days and reviewing 20 words per day for the last 5 days. This is the result. 9.5% of respondents chose type A. 76.2% of respondents chose type B. 14.3% of respondents chose type C. Fourth, experiment. I conducted an experiment to find out which type is the best for memorizing 100 English words in 10 days. 2 female pharmacy students participated in this experiment. I will call them participants A and B. This is experimental procedure. First, they took a vocabulary test to see how much they knew the pharmacy terms. The test included 100 English pharmacy terms, and they tried to memorize Japanese translation. Second, they tried type A, which is memorizing 10 words per day for 10 days. Third, they took a vocabulary test again to see how much they know compared to the first test. Then fourth, calculated the growth rate. Then they repeated this procedure for type B, which is looking over 100 words every day for 10 days. And again, they repeated this procedure for trying type C, memorizing 20 words per day and reviewing after that. And finally, I compared each growth rate. According to the previous research, people aim to learn between 10 and 20 new words per day. Considering this related study, I built up a hypothesis that type A carefully memorizing 10 words per day would have the biggest growth rate. This is a result of experiment. I'll start with participant A. When she tried type A, the growth rate was 600%. When she tried type B, the growth rate was 520%. When she tried type C, the growth rate was 530%. I move on the result of participant B. When she tried type A, the growth rate was 418%. When she tried type B, the growth rate was 367%. When she tried type C, the growth rate was 370%. Next, discussion. The commonality in the result, both participants A and B, is the ranking of the growth rate. Type A came to the first place, and type C came to the second place, and type B came to the third place. Therefore, the hypothesis I built up was proven. Memorizing 10 words per day, which is type A, is the best way for memorizing 100 words in 10 days. But there are some issues. The experiment took too long time to gather enough people, and there are too few participants, so reproducibility of this result is low. Also, when I listened to participants' thoughts on this experiment, they answered 100 English pharmacy terms used for trying type C were relatively easy, and the more English pharmacy terms they memorized, the more regular patterns in those they found. I think the reason why the participants felt that way is because English pharmacy terms have systematic features, and some of these have Japanese translations that are easy to guess. So this result lacks generalizability. Fifth conclusion. The purpose of my P2 project was to find out an efficient way to memorize English vocabulary. Even though there are some issues, but it is concluded focusing and taking one's time on each word is an efficient way to memorize English vocabulary. 6 references. This is the references of my research. Thank you for listening.